Hi everybody, this is Gary Dean with Sentiment Timing, and this is our free weekly video report for Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018. I hope you guys have been staying on the right side of the market. Things have been going exactly as planned, and I'm going to go over a lot of stuff tonight, so let's get started. For anybody that's new to our videos, basically what we do at Sentiment Timing is we look at the markets in three different areas. One is time, and that is through what technical timing indicators, which you guys have received a bunch of them after the fact, unfortunately, because our paying members would not be happy if we gave you those time periods beforehand. But these technical timing indicators let us know weeks in advance when to expect either a top or a bottom. We match up sentiment with that. That's Woody's has his own proprietary sentiment database that he charts. He's one of the few in the world that do this. And once we have the time and the sentiment that are in place, we then use the technicals to figure out where price will reverse. And we look with regular technical divergences, wave structures, as well as patterns. So let's get started. This was on April 10th. Now I'm going to give you a little example and a recap as far as what has gone on. And what Woody had said on April 10th was that he was looking for the next trading high to come around April 17th or the 18th. If you look at this chart right here, this is when that report went out, and this is April 18th, exactly on the date that he put. And from there, we had a decline. But what you want to notice in this is the April high, there's another trading low that's due in early May before the rally into, which is where we are right now. So this is, again, this is all done on April 10th. We had the trading high right on the date there. April 3rd is considered early, May 3rd is considered early May in anybody's terms, and from there we've had the rally. So what members knew, and what I knew as a, just trading, is that when we were approaching the April 18th, that I wasn't going to be buying into what the financial media was saying, that this is it, the low is in and we're heading higher. I was looking for a technical sell trigger to go on, and we got that, and from there we saw a very nice decline. We got a bounce, but it was not the buying. You could have done a quick trade on the buy here, but that was not the swing trade buy. The swing trade buy was coming in early May, and that's when we got the buy signal on that, and it was a fantastic trade, and we're still going, and we know that we have a top date that's going to be approaching. Members already know when to start looking for that time period. So is now the time to get aggressive on the long side? No, you really, if you're long, you manage your positions, and what happens is you just start waiting for these time periods to come. But one thing that I've noticed in the past is that towards the end of these moves, that's when we get big point moves, whether it be on the downside or the upside. So we're right at some resistance right now, and if it takes it out, I wouldn't be surprised to see some type of mini rocket move up to close to the 2800. Now I'm not married to that at all, but I'll show you in the regular charts how it goes. But the point on this is back in April 10th, it was the top, it was the low, and now we're coming into our next top date. And again, this was already mentioned in the April 10th. So this is going almost 2 months in advance on when the next high is coming, and this is the type of information that, as a trader, I don't know what I would do without it, not knowing whether to be buying or selling, and getting this information from somebody that's been really is considered a pioneer in investor sentiment, and considered by many on Wall Street as the master market timer. I would feel like I was running in this market and trading it naked, because knowing what to do in advance allows you to control your emotions and make educated trades. And if you're a technical trader, this is when the technicals come in. It comes in when you're coming into a top, and that's when your technicals really come into play, looking for the reversal down. And the same when we're coming into a low period, your technicals work when you're looking for a low. low. But what happens is when you start getting, this was a resistance zone right here, and we had divergences. We had a little pullback, but we weren't even close to the top date. And anybody that shorted this right here got absolutely smoked. And that's the advantage of knowing and having this information ahead of time. And it really is. It's like seeing into the future, and it's something that as I've said, I don't know what I would do. I wouldn't want to be trading this market not knowing these dates on when to when to really be looking for a top or a bottom. So yesterday we sent you out, I gave you a freebie that we had a 94% bullish reading, and from that we saw the S&P make a drastic reversal from the 2442 and made it all the way down to the 2412 level. But today, which I didn't send you guys, was that we had an 11% reading. So when we had the big run up on Monday, we had 94% reading. That gave us that stopped the S&P in its tracks, and from there we saw a 30-point decline. Then we had a 11% bullish reading, and that was from the big decline. And again, today we're not near the we're not at the top date, so it was another buying opportunity. And I did just that, and I put out to the members was once we got above the 27.19, it's a buy trigger, and you're simply putting your stop at the 27.11. So it was an 8-point risk on this, and right now it's 14 points to the upside. And if we take these highs out tomorrow, then I believe that we're going to be coming up someplace into the 27.50 and possibly to 27.60. So this information that the free piece gave you some free information as far as not chasing that rally yesterday, and from there we had a big drop. And today our members knew not to get overly bearish because we had an 11% bullish reading. So you can see that the mass is switching from bullish to bearish, and that usually happens when we're in a topping phase. But as I said, typically towards the end of these time periods is when the trend that's in place, which this one would be on the upside, usually they put a lot of points on at the end, because then it gets everybody bullish on the market, and that's when it's time to be looking on the short side. So this is just the sentiment charts here. You can see this was the 94%. That was from Monday's rally. But the one thing I just want to show you on this is that you can see that the sentiment when we were in April and we had those big drops, from there it's burned a lot of the very bearishness off, and we're back at the the high to neutral end of things. And again, it opens the door for regular technical analysis to come into play and look for the top. But right now I'm long with my stop below it. And again, what I'm looking at, just as far as on a technical front, is that we're, if we can bust through this resistance, I think there's a lot of people that shorted this, and from there they're going to be forced to cover. My the first target that I would be looking at is the 27.46. That is the 78% retracement. If we get above that, the next resistance 27.60, and again, if we get above that, that's when I believe that we can come up to the 2800. But if we don't get there into the time period that we're looking for the top to come into play, then I just start scaling out of my short position, my long positions, and simply wait for a short trigger. That's all it is. I'm not married to the 2800 level. It's just a target that if we do break through this resistance, typically at the end of these moves, if you notice, this was on April 18th, which was the top date, and notice what happened. In 2 days, the S&P went from 2644 all the way up to 2716. This is what I'm talking about. This happens at the top. So if we break through this resistance, this is probably the type of move I'm looking for. And as members have known all the way from down here, I was saying that I had a 2800 as a target. So that would be something that I would be looking for it to play out. But again, I'm not married to it. If we start coming down and we start taking out support levels, I'm going to move to cash, and then we wait for the sell trigger. So support levels, we have one 27.25, we have support 27.20, and then we have the support down at the 27.09. These are important. The really important one is 27.02, because if that gets taken out, then we're coming all the way down to the 26.83. And if that happens with the time period that we're running into, I do not believe that the 2800 will come into play, and I believe that we'll be looking for the next move will be probably a hard move to the downside. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and I will talk to you guys on Tuesday.